Hi, folks, I'm Mike, and I hope you're well. Welcome to Fix My Mix episode 33. Can you believe it? The show where we're all giving our ears some practice, listening to each other's mixes, and seeing if we can come up with some suggestions for how those mixes may be improved before people release them. I'm getting my words muddled today, aren't I? I cannot get it right today. If you do release your music after getting a fix for your mix, then you should release it through DistroKid, the sponsor of our shows. There's a link for them in the description down below, and if you follow that link and join up with DistroKid, then you will be able to get a 7% discount off of their already cheap price, which is very nice indeed. Lots to talk about in today's show. Actually, I was having a great conversation with our guests off air before we came on. All the best conversations happen before and after the show for some reason. Don't know why. But anyway, we'll get onto that in a moment. I just want to say hi to the wonderful people who are here in the chat. First of all, we have Pete Johns from Studio Live today. I was just over, and Pete, I only caught a little bit of your show this morning. And during that little bit of your show, you were talking about how basically you can't be bothered with lots of vocal comping and just use the presets. I love that. I'm going to tell people something completely different on today's show. But I love that attitude. I love the vibe. Don't get too stressed about things, folks. Have fun with it. We have Kevin Parrott here. You know, there's several people that come on this show in the live chat every single week. And I'm so glad to see that, because are we all developing, or what I'm growing through the show? It just gives you the chance, doesn't it, to listen to lots of mixes and sort of develop your critiquing of a mix as well, like that. Doug is here. I'll talk about Doug in a moment, actually. We'll get back to Doug. Nice to see you here, Doug. We've got the Mix Club in here. Always nice to see the Mix Club here. We have Neil Picard. We have a new name to me, I think, here. Hi, nice to see you here from Sussex in the UK. Smart Arts Inc. I read that as Smart Arts Inc. for some reason. Maybe it is. Anyway, Keonra's here, coffee in hand, as always. Thank you for being here, Keonra. I see that your Songtember's going well. Check out Keonra's channel for her updates on Songtember. It's great to have you here, folks. Do remember, the people in the live chat play a very, very important role in this show. I'll just a quick hello to somebody else there as well. Omni Collective Creativity, good to see you. You play a very, very important role. Sometimes, even if it's for me and my guests, it helps us to confirm that we're hearing certain things about mixes. By the way, so it's very, very helpful that you're taking part there. Whew. Right. I'm glad I've got a guest today, because I've got a feeling I'm going to get confused about a lot of things. I'm going to get distracted about a lot of things going on here in Creative Source at the moment. I mentioned Doug earlier because he rightly put a post in my Cakewalk Facebook group early on, a few hours ago, to congratulate the group on becoming a year old today. And really, really amazing. That time's flown by. I'm so glad that this group has grown so quickly and that there's a really sort of active community there. But more so, the community in there has got a great vibe to it. It's just got a really, really helpful, respectful vibe in there. We have the odd issue, very, very rarely. Most people in there conduct themselves in a great way. So it's a great place to grow, to learn about Cakewalk, to learn about, music production in general. And I'm very, very proud of it. Indeed, it's a year old. And what I'm very proud about it, one of the reasons I'm very proud about it, is I wanted to create a group that had that kind of vibe, that was, very creative, very nurturing, especially to people who are new to recording. I wanted that. And one of the reasons I wanted that is because I'd seen that occur in another group on Facebook, and that was the Home Recording Studio Zone. And that group is founded and owned by the god himself of that group, Ricky T. Brown, who is my guest today. have you ever been introduced as God before? Just I just thought I'd throw that in.
No.
There you go. Revealed here, folks. God is black.
Yeah, well, rumor has it.
Yeah,
well, if you want proof of that, check the Bible. Yeah, check Revelation. Yeah,
okay,
because
no,
it
we're not doing that
gives
here. We're not doing that here. Ricky. It was a joke. It's a joke.
John
You didn't
gives a very detailed description. Yes, so you need to check it.
Okay. Okay. Never ever bring religion up on a show or on a channel. This is what I should have stuck to. Anyway, let's continue with the show. Ricky, you've been a busy boy, haven't you? You were right. First of all, that T-shirt basically says your life at the moment, doesn't it? Hey, let's have a look at
that. I love Thanos.
He does. You're right in the midst of this project of yours at the moment. You were telling me earlier about your vocalist. What did she send you?
Yeah, she's wonderful. But mixing her songs or songs she's vocal, geez, we got lots of tracks, lots and lots of tracks, man. And you know what that means when you got lots of tracks.
Lots of work.
My days.
But I don't think there is any shortcuts to some of this stuff. If you want to get a good product, you know, I was touching about this on last week's show, but there's no shortcuts, it's probably me. Is there? I don't think so.
It's probably me that I'm a bit slow with it all, you know. But
when you've got that many tracks, you can take the Pete Johns approach, which is nothing wrong with this, by the way. But Mr. Johns, if you're still here, he's like, I can't be bothered with lots of takes. Just try and get things in one take if you can, right? And he likes to go that sort of free flowing sort of approach, which is cool. Me, I'm more in the camp of I don't want to do 20 takes and pick the best, but 3, 4, maybe 5, right? But the fact is, if you start doing that, there's work involved, isn't there? You've got to do some editing of those. I like to chop out any background noises and things. You get in there, you start melodyning all of it. That takes time, you know, organising it all, getting the phrasing between them nice, you know.
Yeah,
just
so
a little bit
Julieta, in case you are watching or you're gonna watch this, I love you, babe, but you give me enough work. Enough work.
Well, this is what collaboration's all about. It's about pushing people to, past their limits. I sound like I'm stirring now. I'm going to.
No. It's anyway. As you can see, I love Faders. So
yes. Well, there you go.
It just takes time. Yeah, it just takes
indeed.
time. I've been mixing this one for the last month.
Honestly. Oh, you see?
No, on and off. Not solid. On and off, yeah.
Pete says he can't decide if he's just lazy or just rock and roll. I know Pete. Pete is not a lazy guy. But he doesn't like to fuss over details. That's the thing about it.
Just sling it in, yeah.
Well, no, and there's something to be said for that, isn't there? There's very much something to be said for that because we do sometimes get bogged down in details. So I'm saying, Pete, Ricky, I need to introduce you to each other. He's been working on this one for months, Pete. This mix. I think you need to find a compromise.
yeah, maybe, yeah. It could come in handy on this one, actually. Yeah, I'd like to get your.
You need to get what you've done so far on this show. Fix My Mix and see what everyone's got to say about it.
Actually, that's an idea. Yeah. Well, in actual fact, the one I'm working on now, I'm getting it up on BandLab tomorrow. So yeah.
Give me a link. I sent a mix to you a few weeks ago, didn't I? I sent a mix to you and said,
"Yes, you did."
Listen to this. That was terrifying. I was like, "Oh God!" I was, "Oh God!" Somebody's going to give me an opinion on my mix now. Jesus.
Now you know how I feel. Yeah.
Ooh, scary.
When you keep threatening, yeah, we're going to turn it round on the guests now. Like they can put their stuff on there.
I got
then
some
get
great feedback from
gone to
you and Pete
shreds.
and Dan and people on that. It was one of those situations. It wasn't so much that I couldn't judge it, but I just cared a little bit more about it than I usually do.
Yes.
So I wanted some other people to listen to it. Anyway, let's move on and have a listen to some mixes. Folks, don't
Indeed.
forget to take part in the live chat here. I'm very interested in what your ears are hearing with these mixes. Now, the first one that we've got up today, first of all, I want to say to people, this is an example of a cover song. I'm happy to have cover songs on the show, don't mind at all. Doesn't have to be original material. And this is one where, in actual fact, let me just find this. I actually followed up, and I'm normally too lazy to do follow-up emails, but I actually did a little bit of a follow-up on this one to confirm a few things about this mix. But so I've got 2 emails to read out, but I'll read you the first one, and then we'll listen to it, and we'll talk about it. So, dear Mike, hope you're safe and well. Thank you very much, Andre. This has been sent in from Andre. I don't know his surname or the group's name, or I didn't know at the time anyway. Here's a bit of a different one from you. Lots of brass, guitar, and percussion, etc. It's an instrumental song. I'll let Ricky just read out the title of it.
Yes, I've got a confession to make.
Oh, you can't see the screen, can you?
I
All right.
can't see you.
This is like a podcast to you, isn't it? All right. So you don't know what I'm doing at the moment, then, do you?
No, I've no idea.
This is
I
gonna
mean,
be
I
so
can
much
see
fun.
me, but I can hear you. But I
Folks.
can't see you.
Ricky can't see. He can't see us, folks. All right. Anyway,
Listen, I've been making those funny faces,
so
yeah.
Ricky, this is Henry Mancini cover, the Inspector theme. Okay, so there's no
Okay.
vocals in this. Let's just. It says, I hope you like it. I created all the arrangements on keyboard and asked some friends to play. It's a worldwide collaboration. Guitar and bass from Brazil, bass from Nigeria, and I'm from Australia. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Should be interesting. Oh my Lord. You know what? I don't listen to these whole tracks before I play them on the show for the first time. I maybe
Yeah.
listen to the first couple of seconds. I go, yeah, okay. I read the email. I don't listen to the whole thing. So that's the first time I've heard it all the way through. I've got to tell you, it's the wee hours of the morning here in Perth, Western Australia, and that woke me up. What say you, Ricky?
Yeah. Man, I was just looking at all the comments coming in and the love
It's getting
that
some love,
is
isn't it? It's getting some love.
being given to this, and completely deserved.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes you hear a cover and it's you just feel like, well, it's really a facsimile of the
Mm.
original, but
Mm, mm, mm.
this was just so well done,
Mm.
just so well done. Mate didn't put a foot wrong at any point
Mm.
in this, and
Mm.
I love that little bit of slap bass flourish near the
Wasn't
end
that?
there.
Wasn't
That
that?
was
That got
like,
me. That, yeah. I was like, oh
yeah, that wasn't
yeah,
expected. Yeah, that
yes.
wasn't expected. But fantastic job.
Do you reckon?
Fantastic
I
job.
was thinking with it. I didn't know if the arrangement was because I'm not familiar with the different versions of this. I've heard this theme. I've
Yeah.
heard the original. So right away, I was like, oh, there's definitely something different in this arrangement to the original arrangement. Even though they kept the essence of the energy. I don't know whether
Yeah.
another arrangement's been done at some point and whether Andre and his friends have emulated or copied that arrangement. I don't know. But if these guys or if Andre came up with this arrangement, then I'll say, well done. Very, very good arrangement. Carry on, Ricky. I'm interrupting you a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what can you say? I mean, it's supposed to be fix my mix, but yeah, why try and fix it if it ain't broke, man? This was just so good. It was different to the original,
Mm-mm.
but he's captured the right elements. I mean, the brass arrangement was excellent.
Mm-mm.
Um, and I'm not sure whether that was like all played live or if he was using there's some good brass plugins out there that
Well,
can
yeah.
get you that kind of thing.
Well, I actually
But
emailed him about that because
yeah,
I've talked a bit about brass recently because I've criticised a couple of mixes recently which have had brass on them because I
yeah,
didn't think they sounded that great, but I tended to say to people that I thought it was more to do with the brass plug-in rather than the mix itself.
yeah,
They tend to, even obviously most of them are sampled instruments, but for some reason they tend to sound a little synthetic, or I don't know. You
yeah.
know,
I think it's more about the way it's used. I mean, if you understand what all the articulations are,
yes, it's very
of
important to
a
understand the articulations problem.
a trumpet and how that's played, then yeah, you can do something really convincing. But
So when I heard this, and I thought, well, this is the way I want my brass to sound. When I'm using brass,
yeah,
right? This is what I want it to sound. So I emailed him, but I've got some bad news. This was not a virtual instrument. This was some real brass. So
well,
he said,
it
yes,
was
the
really well
brass.
recorded,
Yeah, the
really
brass
well
is
recorded.
played by a talented musician and producer. His name is San Lima, and he's from Brazil. He did the trumpet solo as well. I sent the concept idea on my keyboard with virtual instruments. I left 2 or 3 stems of the virtual brass to give him a boost, but he sent me more than 10 stems to give a big band vibe. The guitar player is also from Brazil. He's super versatile, virtuoso in rock and jazz. Brought in Brian Setzer's style to the solos. The bass player's from Nigeria, very precise and creative. And the rest, Andre did all himself: drums, percussion, piano, and keyboard. Everything's electric. He said, I'm a drummer, but here in Sydney, it's impossible to have an acoustic set. So I tried my best to make it sound real. Drums were killing it. We're doing it.
Oh,
Now,
it was all cool. It was all good.
this is Fix My Mix, though, and it's very easy to say with this that there's just no problems with it. There isn't, really. The only thing I didn't like, and a lot of people loved it, I could see in the comments, was the panning on the trumpets. I'll explain myself. So there was a couple of very noticeable parts where there was a very hard panned trumpet from the left, and then it went to the right. Yes. I don't mind that at all as a creative thing. It was fun. I just wouldn't do it quite so hard. To me, it was all completely in one ear and not the other. Or if you are going to do that, what I would do, for me, this is what I'd try on that little bit, because it was a nice bit, is perhaps have that trumpet completely in the left, but have all of its reverb or something in the right, just to give a little bit of a sense of space. Because if you had a trumpet player in a room, even if he's all the way over on the left-hand side of the room up against the wall, there's still going to be some reflections that you're going to hear on the right-hand side of the room. Do you just see what I'm saying? Now, it depends if you want that or not, whether you're trying to get realistic or not. For me, I would have liked to have felt that I was more in a space, and that, yeah, that trumpet player was over there in the room and that other trumpet player was over there. I would have liked that, and you may have felt that a little bit more if it wasn't quite so hard panned, or, as I say, maybe balanced out with some delay or
you say
reverb
that, Mike, but some themes that are mixed for television, for example, they'll do exactly what he's done there, where you would have like a trumpet line, one bit will come out on the right and then the second part come out on the left, and that kind of thing. It's not unusual if you're mixing it for film and that kind of thing. Those things will happen. Now, if you were mixing it for a record, I think maybe then you might take a slightly different approach, maybe similar to what you just suggested, but it didn't sound unnatural to me. Not enough for me to say, well, yeah, I think the panning could have done a little bit more work. I mean, I don't feel like that about it. It was really well done. And when I was listening through the cans, of course, yeah, everything was kind of where it was supposed to be, and it was really dynamic, and things happened where they were supposed to. So it's like, yeah.
I take your point, Ricky, but you're wrong. I mean, obviously you're wrong.
Yeah, I know, it's your show. Yeah, keep telling me.
No, but, and this is the point about it. This is very, very, very important thing to remember with mixing things. Right, this is where your artistic interpretation comes in very much, and what you're looking for, what your goals are. It's just something to be aware of the different effects that you could have by different techniques. You've got to go down your own road, come to a decision. Can't please everyone. But anyway, there's not too much to say. Let's be honest with it. It was a very well mixed track. There's not much to fix here. So the only thing we can really say is that well done, really great fun. Somebody said play it again. I may do that right at the end of the show. I reckon that would be a fun outro for the show today. Let's keep that in mind. So I think we should hear, talking about the fact that this was a cover version. You can actually release cover versions. People often ask this, can you release cover versions on DistroKid? And yes, you can. I've released cover versions on DistroKid. You have to pay a fee. So on DistroKid, like everything else that you upload, if it's your own material, you pay that $19.99 a year, and you can upload as many songs as you want. You could do thousands of songs if you want, folks. Upload it to DistroKid, $19.99, and you won't have to pay a single penny more. But when it comes to covers, you have to pay. And from memory, when I did it, I had to pay $1 per cover per year. Okay? So, look, goodness me. So that's cheap. If you want to have that's all you have to pay to use someone else's material. Strange. You know what, Ricky, I just want to say, on my system here, this sort of back-end system I've got here, I've got 2 Ricky T. Browns.
Yeah, that's probably.
There you are. I don't know which one of you. I don't know which one of you to have.
Can you kill one, please?
I'll kill this one. How are we going? Can you see now, or
I can see you now. Yeah,
you can see. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, I can see you.
Good job. You couldn't see me earlier with what I was doing. Anyway, I can't middle finger anymore. All right, I'll get rid of the other Ricky T. Brown then. All right, then. So that is my DistroKid advert for today. So, folks, don't forget, if you do sign up for DistroKid, can do covers, cost you $1 per cover per year. And just so you know, it takes out a lot of the complication with it as well. You don't have to be applying to use the cover, or you don't have to be seeking permission from individual. DistroKid does all of that stuff for you. All right, you just upload it. Takes a little longer than usual because it takes them some time to do that. Okay, so in my experience, when you upload covers, It can. I seem to remember it took about a week or something before it was approved. I think that's fine. I think it's a very good
That ain't
service.
bad.
No, it's very, very good. And then, you get your music covers or non-covers out to the world. iTunes. What's the places now? Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Deezer, Dozer, Bill's a Bozer. I don't know. They're all TikTok, Flip Flop. There's so many different places now. I sound like an old man, don't I? Let's have a listen to another song, shall we? I am going to go on to our next track. You can now introduce it, can't you, Ricky?
Yes.
Because you can see the screen. I'll just pop that up while I load the song up.
Right. The next song is by David Ola, and the name is "Leave It in Ruins."
Here we go. Look, I'll read out. Sorry, I'm having technical issues here. I'm trying to have you cover for me. So this is from David Ola. He said, "Hi, I made this track for fun, playing around with some free instruments. It's a dramatic orchestra track, and almost every instrument I used was free. I'm a beginner producer, and I'm taking digital audio arts at university soon." I'm glad this is good timing, because I did another video 2 or 3 weeks ago. I did a video about a free orchestra. It's called The Free Orchestra from Project Sam. It's a great little plug-in. Yeah. So I did a video a couple of days ago where I wanted to take a look at a range of different free orchestra plugins which are available. There's a few available, and it's amazing, really, when you think about the work that actually has to go into creating some sort of orchestra plugin. The fact that you can get some of them for free is kind of remarkable, really. And I won't say which one was number one, but I'll let people watch the video for that. Check out my channel for that, folks. But so it's great that people are making use of these plugins, and people make some great music. We have a lot of people on the show here who use free plugins for different things, and you can definitely get some great results. So let's have a listen to this from David Ola, "Leave It in Ruins." Holy cow! Can I go first? I'm going to go
Yeah,
first.
go for it,
All
dude.
right. God, this is a useless show to watch, isn't it? This is a useless blooming show. Fix my mix. Crikey, folks. I wish I'd listened to more than a couple of minutes of some of these songs before I let them on the show, because there's not much to fix
teacher.
about this. Not much to fix about this one again. This is the second one in a row.
Oh
God,
my
it's hard.
days.
I'm trying hard. I'm trying hard to find something wrong with it, and I'm reaching at straws even. I'll reach at straws if I want to.
Straws.
Never mind. Everyone else reaches at straws. What do you say? Look, the only thing I could find, my one little note, was nothing to do with the mix at all. Was the piano. There was some little inaccuracies in the piano, just in a couple of places of the playing. It was just a little bit sloppy. Maybe the piano was a tad too loud, a tiny bit. There's no issues with this. I hope I haven't taken away all your talking points, Ricky. Go.
No. Right, this is somebody that's just about to go into music college.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah,
Wow.
doesn't need
He's
to go.
got a, he's no. Well, no, he'll only get better if he goes if he does that. But my gosh, that was so good. I mean, I've done a few tracks in this genre, and I'm listening to what this guy can do already. It's really quite amazing. You can hear that straight away being put onto being a theme for a kind of like dark subjected kind of program, like vampires and shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it took me somewhere immediately with that, and I was completely drawn in by it. Yeah, like Mike says, it's a hard one to
Well, Mimo says pick up the repetitive piano. I'm not sure where Mimo's going with this. So, what do you reckon? Is it
No,
too
that was the
repetitive?
motif. That
Right,
was
that's
the
the
motif.
motif,
That's the
isn't it?
glue. That's
Yeah,
the glue
right.
for the whole
Dun,
track,
dun,
I'd say,
dun,
Mimo.
dun, 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 dun. See, I can sing it even.
Yes, exactly. It's the motif.
Mm.
Just there was one space in there that I thought, oh, maybe that, to pick up your point on the last track, was the padding of the strings.
Oh, I liked it.
I thought when the violins came in, they should have been in the middle.
Okay.
Because they were dominating the space at that point in time. It wasn't like it was an accompaniment. So I felt that it should have been in the middle at that point. But beyond that, it's bloody good. I mean, listen, if I came up with that, I'd be well pleased with it, mate. I'm
it's the
telling you,
sort of thing
really
that I
good.
would come up with for a demo if I was got a new plugin to show off. My problem is that I go long strings. I'm coming up with, I've usually got an hour to create a little piece of music like this to demonstrate a plug. And I'm going, right, as soon as I hit any kind of staccato strings, everything becomes Game of Thrones. I was dun 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 dun. Dun. It's very everything's Game of Thrones-esque. That's the trap I'm falling into.
Or Marvel.
Or Marvel.
That's it.
That's the hardest thing about creating these pieces of music is actually being different in any way, right? There's a little bit of a sameness to it, and not criticizing this for that, but and then again, your goal is not to be different or noticeable. Your goal is to support a piece of cinema or something like, I assume, with a piece like this, so different. If you were using the same arrangement and instrumentation, but this was not for film or television whatsoever, and this was purely an orchestral piece, then maybe something like that piano could be deemed as a little too repetitive just for a sit and listen to. I would like to see it evolve from where it was. It wasn't a particularly long piece, so it's okay, but maybe it could evolve.
Yeah, you were talking about the the repetitive of the piano kind of thing. And there's a composer who did the theme for Game of Thrones and Westworld. I think his name is Ramsey Djawadi, I think his name is. And he's a genius. And if you listen to his themes, they have a repeating piano going all the way through it. So I don't know that he was way off the mark in terms of saying, right,
certainly
okay,
not
then.
way off. Certainly not.
Yeah,
way
I
off.
mean,
No.
what's the glue? What's the glue melody for this track? And that cycling arpeggio on the piano is the thing that links everything. You know, I think he done a really good job with it.
Do you know what I love about this type of music? Is that this is never about being a virtuoso instrumentalist of any kind, right? You could have very rudimentary keyboard playing skills and produce wonderful pieces of music like this. I don't know if you ever watched the YouTuber Guy Mitchellmore. I love, I love his channel. Love his channel.
Crazy.
And YouTube tells me things like this in the background. It shows me what other channels people watch that who watch my channel, and I know that he's always in the top 2 or 3. I know lots of people who watch this channel also watch his. I don't know Guy at all, but he seems like a wonderful person as well. He comes off really nice in his videos. But I love watching his creation process. There's some similarities sometimes, you know, when I'm going at it, and for all of us really, you know, when you're just having that flow in the studio. But again, a lot of what he does is he lays down some quite repetitive motifs as the glue for the whole thing, and then the other instruments are more colour around that motif, you know, and colour and dynamics, I guess, through the arrangement.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of his videos, Mike. Guy Mitchellmore. He's actually the son of a famous BBC TV presenter.
Right, yeah. Michael Mitchellmore, was that?
Yes, who used to do the holiday programme, if you remember that.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
Yes, well, that's his son. And actually, Guy Mitchellmore was a BBC. It used to be afternoon regional news.
Oh, okay.
He used to work on the BBC, and then then at some point he left that and went straight into music composition kind of thing. So there's quite there's quite a story behind him, but he's mad as a hatter.
We've got a correction.
When you watch his videos, you know,
we've got a correction here. Cliff Mitchellmore.
That's it.
Cliff Mitchellmore. That's it. Correct. Thanks for that.
We stand corrected.
We do.
Yes, Cliff Mitchellmore.
Yeah, no, good stuff there. Really enjoyed that piece of music. I think it's another one of those ones. David Ola, I think you've got a very promising future ahead of you. And as Ricky says, you can only get better. I'm sure when you go off to uni, you'll learn more about the craft of arranging these things and all that. But you've got the basic talent. You're halfway there by the sounds of it. Let's hear something about DistroKid. If you want to release your music via DistroKid, there's just a couple of things you need. First of all, the music itself. Here's mine in my DAW Cakewalk, and I'm exporting it to an uncompressed WAV file for best results. Now the other thing you'll need is some artwork. I just grabbed an old photo which I'd taken on the beach, chucked on some text here, and that's what I call art. Then I went over to DistroKid and I just have to fill in this extra easy form. It's a no-brainer form. You get helped all the way through with little hints and things. You can't really do anything wrong. You just go ahead and confirm a few things about your music, and then you just have to actually upload the artwork and the song itself, and DistroKid takes care of the rest. It's going to send it out to all of the best platforms so that people can hear and buy your music. I'm praying, Ricky. I'm praying. God.
You're praying for a dud.
I'm praying
you
to God.
prayed for a dud. No, you're praying for a dud.
I'm praying for a dud. I'm saying please. I'm praying to God and praying to God she's not responding to me. Anyway, so let's go on to the third track. Fat Fox, Out of Touch. This is something out of touch. We've had Fat Fox on the show before, long time ago.
Okay.
So they said in the email, we wrote, recorded, and produced this ourselves at home, and will soon be releasing it through DistroKid. Good choice. Method: vocals recorded in a homemade booth, moving blankets, and PVC pipe. A very good solution, in my opinion, I have to say. A reasonable solution in certain circumstances. Guitars are PRS DGT through a Line 6 Helix. A lot of people give Line 6 a lot of hate, but let's see if we're going to into a Tascam US 2000 audio interface. Tascam never use their audio interfaces ever, but they always look good, the specs and everything.
I had one of those.
Yeah,
the 2000, bloody good interface.
Yeah.
Bloody good
Is that like a
interface.
Firewire interface or something? It's from that sort of era, isn't it?
No, it's a USB, if I recall. But it's a really good, really good. The only reason why I've stopped using it is because they stopped updating the drivers. It's a brilliant box.
See, it's the thing. Manufacturers, if you're listening, you got to keep those drivers going for a long time, please. We don't want to be abandoned in the middle of a project.
Yeah.
Bass is a blend of DI and amp simulated. Drums are programmed into the DAW with some software. Keys and synths are a blend of programmed software, synths, and DI live. Please, let this be a terrible mix so that we can critique it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Am I out of touch? Do I think too much? Here to save me from my insanity. Get in the car, let's go. Another one for the open road. Ooh, hey, where do we go? From here, I'm already slow to steer up out of the way.
yes! Holy shit!
Mike, your homework, your prep sucks today.
I
I
know.
have to tell you, it sucks.
If this was one of those
Wow.
TV shows where one of the judges stood
Wow.
up and gave a whatever they do,
Wow,
some
wow, 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 wow,
slam
wow,
dunk
wow.
or something like that.
What's their names again? What's the name of the group?
Fat Fox, that was. This
Fox.
actually, I don't think this was without some critique ability, actually. But anyway, Ricky, you go first.
Mate, if you're going to criticize this one, you're looking for stuff, really.
Well,
'cause
yes, and we are looking for
listen, man, I'm partial to this kind of rock, and they nailed this one down because the arrangement. Whether you're talking about the drums or whether the guitars. I mean, yes, I thought the intro was a bit quirky with the right-left thing going on. I thought that was a bit quirky, but once you got into the verse, man, it's like, all right. And then the chorus, nice with our fat guitars coming in. And then it never let you get bored of it because, I mean, even like the time signature changes towards the end of a track where it went double time and then they went into some funk, man. And, I was doing a slow mosh and then they double timed it, man. So I was in there, These guys, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I would buy that as it is. Yeah. So I think any changes to it is merely about taste.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not often that you get to, well, not on this show anyway. It's not often that you get to hear tracks so well done, so well thought out. They crafted this mix, and I got to tell them, listen, guys, if you're watching, you got a new fan today. That was just brilliant. Blew me out the water.
I agree with you almost on everything there. No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, certainly, like, just the energy. It's so. This is almost like what all of us struggle with, to be honest with you. Where, I mean, there's complications in recording live bands, to be honest with you. Bleed and phase issues and all that. So don't ever think that just recording a live band is easy. But the great thing about recording a live band is you get the energy of a live band. So what most of us wrestle with in home studios these days is how do we recreate that energy when we've multi-tracked everything, when we've gone through the slightly tedious process of one thing at a time. If nothing else, this track showed it can be done. Because the energy was there of a live performance. In my mind, I was totally convinced that that's a band playing together.
Yes,
it's very, very good from that point. Because can I just say one? I like the vocals very much. Very Debbie Harry-esque kind of a delivery there, Blondie kind of a delivery in there, which I really like. Sort of laid back. The only thing with that is it's got to be right on top, So those very interesting choppy guitars that were going left and right, just here and there, I felt they were masking the vocal a little bit. Either the vocal could come up just a tad, or those guitars could just come down a tad, or cut out some frequencies in those guitars for the vocals. It's on my headphones. It could be different listening experience for different. Just there was a little harshness to those guitars at times, like ching, right? Because it could be deemed as just a little bit harsh. Somebody suggested, I think it was Doug, that maybe they could have a little reverb echo on them, something like that. Yeah, maybe try that. I would try that. As Ricky says, this is all grasping at straws. This is all very much there. These are things you could try. You could try them, and then maybe it won't work out, and you'll just keep exactly what you want. But I felt that they were just a little piercing at times, those choppy guitars. Not much. I want to say that we've talked so much on the show about programmed drums, and there's always this debate about whether programmed drums are any good and whether we should have real drums. this was one of the best examples I've heard of programmed drums. It was just very, 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 very good. Guys, if you're programming drums, I say don't use. I don't like to use with all the drum plugins, you'll get these preset sort of rhythms and things. I'll use them sometimes early on in the track just to get things going. But I believe program the drums. Maybe not everyone can do that, but if you can, program the drums and then take care on the details, and then you can get something like this. Because I promise you that when they've programmed these drums, they've spent a lot of time on them. A lot of time on nuance is what they've spent time on, okay? And that's the result you can get. But I don't think there's any shortcuts to it. I don't think it's something you just chuck them out. I think it's
Can I ask, was one of the members, are they an actual drummer themselves?
they haven't actually said.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It sounds to me like a drummer knows when stuff's supposed to be played,
Yeah,
and
that's right, yeah.
those roles, they were in the right place and captured the right energy when they were played, and it sounded real. It really did.
Yeah.
If you hadn't said that it was programmed, I would have thought that was we got a nice drummer on this one.
Andrew Costley
feels
saying
really good.
you need to be a drummer to program drums properly. I'll take your point, Andrew. If you're not a drummer, then you need to have really studied drums. Probably, I think working in a band, it helps you a lot. So if you've spent some years, as I did with a band, and you get to know, what it's like to be in a room with a drummer and how they work and how they think, and but yeah, if not, then spend a lot of time studying drummers and what they do. It's very, very important. But it's all about nuance. It's all about there are some roles that particular drums play as well that you probably need to understand. You need to understand what it feels like just through observation when that drummer goes from using a hi-hat in the verse to going over to the ride cymbal in the chorus or whatever it is. How that changes the dynamic of a song. Understanding how drum kits work. It's like any other kind of virtual instrument. It could be, what we were listening to earlier, which is like orchestral pieces. We all got orchestral libraries at our fingertips now, but you need to now listen to orchestras and see how different, what role does the viola play as opposed to a violin, for example, generally in an orchestral piece. So it's you can't just get the plug-in and think it's going to do all the work for you. You've got to understand.
I
how
have an
different
understanding.
instruments work. Yeah. What a great show, really, though. In terms of
this one was a classic, mate. This one was a classic.
Very hard for us to get.
Classic.
Very hard to get our teeth into much here, and
it just got better and better.
I feel a little.
You sure you didn't do this on purpose?
No, I didn't. I feel a little unkind in the sense that some of these pieces of music received more critique than they deserve, or criticism than they deserve by a long shot. But no, thanks to the people who sent it in. If you're, I want to say at this point, if you're creating music and you want to send it into the show and you're suddenly nervous about sending it, please do send it into the show. Try and take, when you hear things like this, which are very, very well done, just take that as encouragement, as this is what's possible. But we all start at zero, and we all have to evolve through practice over time. So it's very, very useful, I think, for you to send your music into a place like this. It's very brave, but it's also very useful. You will get some constructive criticism from myself, my guests, and more importantly, also from the people in the live chat as well. So don't be nervous if you're suddenly thinking, oh, my stuff isn't up to scratch, I won't send it in after all. Please do send your music in, if for no other reason than to give us a role, give us a purpose in life.
Yeah, give us a job. Give us a job, please.
But no, as Mr. Aussie's saying here, I feel that today was very encouraging to all the music producers. Nice change. It's true though. It's nice to hear what's possible, isn't it? With some fairly simple tools. I mean, some people. I think the last the group in there, Fat Fox, for example, they were using quite a nice microphone, the Neumann 102. The fact is, they didn't. It's not like they've got a massive studio. It's not like they gave me a list of, compressors and EQs that they've
Esoteric
got.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. They've got. If you can get one or two pieces of nice gear to help you along the way, fantastic. But to be honest with you, if this was, as I say, recorded with a Neumann 102, if it had been done with a Rode NT1A or an Audio-Technica AT 2020, it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever to this song, because it was a good song, it was good arrangement,
Just a good song,
mix. So I can't. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that if they'd used a $200 microphone on this song, that it would have been any worse. I'm sorry to say this because I want people to follow my affiliate links and buy the expensive microphones, but it's true. Right. I've got a date to go on today. Me and Susie are off on a daytime date together, so I have to make sure I'm on time, finish up show. I just want to say next week, I am back, but not with Fix My Mix. I'm having a week's break from Fix My Mix. We are going to do featured artists. Remember the old featured artist live show? Different emphasis. We're going to do featured artists and just kick back and listen to some music from the community without really critiquing the mix and things. And I've got Marlon on next week from White Sea Studios. Not White Sea, White Noise Studios. Oh my God, got the channel name wrong. Sorry, Marlon. Marlon's on next week from White Noise Studio, so he's always fun to have on. I've asked him to bring his best sarcasm to the show, because I find that Marlon's sarcasm is infectious, if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Make sure you have your chainmail vest on, because you're going to get cut up.
So as Doug said, isn't that what it was today? It was really, Doug. Really, next week is the same show. No, I did ask some people in my Facebook group yesterday for me anyway, to post links to their DistroKid links to the music they've released. And I had a quick listen to a few. There was quite a few posted in there. I had a listen to a few already, and there's some really, really good stuff on there, actually. Really, really impressive stuff coming out from the community. So looking forward to that next week. I think we will actually finish off with that Henry Mancini theme there, the first thing we had on there. So, Ricky, I'll leave the final word to you. Any words of wisdom before we go?
Yeah, thank you for joining us this week for this classic episode of Fix My Mix, and see you all very soon. Bye.